Welcome to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast.
Well, welcome into Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Hayes, with Matt Baker.
That's me.
You can find us at avgffpod.com. You can go there, listen to us on the site, or you can go to Apple and Spotify and YouTube and all those places and check us out as well. Also as well. Wait a minute. Well, I don't even remember what I was trying to say now. You can find us as well as other podcast platforms. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It finally came to me. Most other podcast platforms. Help us get this thing off the ground. I mean, it's been going down the runway for a while now, but we're going to keep flying this thing and seeing if it ever takes off. This is a tough market to crack into, especially if you're not a former player or a mathematician who crunches numbers and spreadsheets all day. But we're going to do our damnedest. And besides
a couple of drunks guessing shit.
I mean, we do some research.
Okay, alcoholics. A couple of alcoholics just guessing some shit.
But yeah, either way, we're going to sit around and talk football, and we enjoy doing that. So we do have a beer of the week, but it's currently getting chilled.
It's getting crispy.
So whenever Baker feels that he's been in the freezer long enough, he'll break it out and we'll introduce it. But until then, we'll just move on. I don't know.
I'll probably forget, and then it'll explode, and we'll be cleaning it up after the
podcast. And by we, he means he.
Most definitely. It will be
I'm trying to think. There is news.
Oh yeah, I mean, Titan said, "Hey,
hold on. Here we go. Let's do the breaking news."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Titans are like, look, we want to start the rookie, but we don't want to hurt Levis's feelings. So, hey, Levis, you know that shoulder that hurts so bad? Go get surgery. You're out this season.
Oh, wow. I did not hear that. When did that come across the wire?
About 2 o'clock today. I think they said Will Levis is going to be out all this next season because he is undergoing shoulder surgery.
Nice.
Apparently he was postponing through the seasons up since he's played football.
He was postponing until he was like, knowing Will Levis, not knowing him personally, but just what I think he's like. He showed up every day like with this mindset. Yeah, I'm still the starter, even though they took a quarterback 1 overall.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah,
of it
and
all.
He's like, I don't want to let my team down. I'm going to show up. And finally, they just sat him down. They're like, bro, you're not going to play this year.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do what you got to do. It's going to be fine.
Get some surgery. Just take it on us. Go get you some surgery. And come back and see us the beginning of next season. We'll discuss it out. And all,
yeah.
But yeah, he's going on the whatever.
But what if he gets the shoulder surgery and that's what it was all along?
He's just immaculate. He's like the best quarterback to ever play. The Browns are going to go pay too much for him. Is what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to be like, man, was that shoulder surgery some sort of like brain surgery too or something?
That's really what it is. It's just masquerading as a shoulder surgery. He's going to come out and be like, I like my coffee black now. I don't need any mayonnaise. What is this insanity? Which, by the way, is disgusting, and I will admit to that.
That's true. It's there on the Facebook.
Yeah, it's
if you
worst.
Scroll far enough down, you'll see a video of him trying the mayonnaise coffee.
It was not good. It wasn't good.
I think he also eats the banana peel and all. I feel like that was a thing too.
That sounds like something he would do. You don't even have to convince me. That is 100% Will Levis, no doubts.
But anyway,
I think the only other thing I can think of, Chris Godwin is not in OTAs and stuff now. He's still undergoing his come back off his surgery and all that stuff. So
yeah,
which I'm sure is nothing. But
and all the second rounders are starting to get signed now.
Yeah, a lot of contracts are going through and all that good stuff.
TJ Watt just became the highest, which he was before, but once again,
just
the highest the highest paid non-quarterback player in NFL history.
I think they're looking at a pretty big deal for Parsons too right now. Is under
I don't know, according to Jerry Jones.
Well, yeah, no, I did see the thing.
Jerry Jones like you could get hit by a car, and I'm like, was Jerry? Is that like foreshadowing? Has Jerry got something going on?
Threatening him or something?
Was that a veiled threat? Micah Parsons, like you signed this other deal, or you're going to get hit by a car?
Man, I don't know. Like, I know there was talks that it was going to be a big deal, and then all of a sudden there's something come out with Jerry talking about, he missed 6 games last year, but he only missed 4. So I don't know if he really knows what he's talking about or what's going on there. But
Jerry, that dude, I don't know. He's not have all his faculties.
No, he's out there like, was it Biden? They're both just breathing. They're just breathing at this point. That's all it really. We're
let's
just
keep
hoping
politics out of it. Because like I say, it's not like Trump's got all his faculties.
I meant
either.
just the age and the desperate.
All them old bastards are losing it. They're all losing their fucking minds.
There's everybody. Nobody has marbles anymore. We'll just say that there are no such thing as marbles.
They're all in charge, which is even more scary.
It's crazy, right? Where this everything's being run by just insanity. But
yeah, welcome to 2025.
Yeah, I know.
But we're going to talk football. I do, amidst all the laughing, I do want to say RIP to Malcolm Jamal Warner, who passed away. Theo from the Huxtables and various other shows. I don't know all the details, but it seems like a tragic accident happened while he was on vacation.
Yeah, I heard he drowned.
Yeah, and so terrible for that family. Heart goes out to them and all that. But I will say he was a huge part of my childhood. Like Theo for a long time was like one of my favorite TV characters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was. We watched the Cosby Show. We're not going to get into the Cosby side of the Cosby Show, but for people my age and your age, like older millennials, I will say the Huxtables were a constant figure in your life.
Oh yeah.
For a long time. And I just remember Theo was like the coolest dude ever.
My favorite part about him, like in growing up through to present day, is all the little times he would just show up in movies or just show up in a show. Or he was, the main character of him, but I like that about a lot of characters where you learn to love them through one aspect, and then all of a sudden they're in this show and they're in this show.
Yes.
They're on this movie. They're just a bartender.
There was like a police show that he was just on recently where he was like one of the main characters. I was looking at his filmography earlier today just to kind of remind myself of everything been in, but I can't. And I saw that and I'm like, damn, he was in that. And he was really good. He was a really good actor. You wouldn't, for somebody who's in a sitcom, as Theo, he was just Theo. But
yeah, exactly.
But he did some more dramatic roles and some other acting in some of the dramas that you're talking about.
He was in a couple Law and Order episodes where he was he was a victim in one. He was a dad in another one. I mean, he just pops up, and I like that. You only know him as one person,
right?
And
I mean, yeah, until for 100 years, it's like anytime I see him in another show, I'm like, hey, Theo's in the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think there's only been one character in my entire life that I've managed to swap over from who I knew him as to something else, and that's what John. Is it Lithgow?
John Lithgow,
the one from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
So he's now the Trinity Killer. No matter what I see him in from here on out, and that was just 6 episodes or 5 episodes of Dexter. But I watched him in Third Rock from the Sun, probably 99 episodes, and then that's all he was. And then now it's like he's the Trinity Killer, no matter where I see him now. So
I do remember. He was awesome. John Lithgow was awesome on Dexter for sure.
Oh yeah,
But I'm watching. I don't know if you've seen The Old Man.
Oh,
he's on that too.
Okay,
I was just watching that last night.
He's such a good actor. I never realized he was so like rounded. Like he can do any. Harry and the Hendersons, was one of my favorite movies growing up. And freaking, like I said, Third Rock from the Sun, he played a complete idiot.
I didn't realize Theo or Malcolm Jamal Warner was in Sons of Anarchy for like 3 episodes. I forgot all about that.
Oh, that's another. Like I said, I remember him in like he pops up.
Oh, he was a doctor on The Resident. That's what he was. When I haven't watched The Resident in a long time, but he was on The Resident for 5 seasons, and he was like a heart surgeon or something. He was awesome on that show. But yeah, so heart goes out to the family. It's obviously losing anybody is terrible, but in such a tragic way is just heartbreaking for all of them. And I think it was 56.
Yeah, he was young. He was 55 or 56 somewhere.
Yeah, 54. And
it was 50s. That's still that's young.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're going to transition from that terribleness to our breakdown of the AFC East.
Allegedly.
Wait, are we still talking about the Cosby Show? Or
there we go. I don't know how to work these stupid buttons.
One of these days, we'll be able to afford to let somebody else do it for free while we're in here drinking beer and doing this.
Allegedly.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to break down the AFC, not the East. I'm sorry. The AFC North. I got to start.
When you say it at the end of the podcast, I write down on here so I know what I'm looking at.
Well, they're all on the same page for me.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't labeled the North. The last one I labeled was the East. So I do a quick glance down at my notebook and I just see the East and I'm like, there's where we are. That's what I got.
Sense.
So now I wrote North. And so next week when we do the South,
AFC.
I'll say we're going to do the AFC North.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to write it right here. So that way when you say it, I go, well, I knew it was the South. And then I sound like the smart one.
You always
allegedly.
sound like first of all, being the smart one in this room.
Oh yeah, it's not saying much. I'm just barely over this Natty Light can.
That's like being the pretty one in this room. Either way, it's easy. It's easy. It's an easy thing to pull off. All right, so we got them in the same order. So I'll just go ahead and I'll kick it off with the team we have at the bottom, and that is the Cleveland Browns. It's still kind of up in the air who their quarterback's going to be. I think we all feel like it's going to be Flacco, but they drafted Gabriel, they drafted Shadur Sanders, they traded a 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick and DTR to get Kenny Pickett, and then they signed Flacco for 1 year, $4 million. So they're not going to start the season with 4 quarterbacks, and they're not going to be able to get Gabriel and Sanders onto the practice squad. They're not going to pass waivers. Somebody will snatch either one of them up. So Flacco or Pickett are going to be out is what I'm feeling. And I think it's going to be Pickett because Pickett is hot garbage.
Yeah. True.
So I think for fantasy, we're hoping it's Flacco.
Yeah.
At least the start.
At least a couple weeks. I mean, he's there for that high-powered offense, man.
So we know their defense is going to be pretty good. If they can be a serviceable offense and they can stay competitive, the longer Flacco will stay a starter. I think and we both have them not winning a lot of games. So we're both predicting the wheels are going to fall off completely at some point. And when that happens, then we're probably going to see the young guys start getting playing time despite how good or bad Flacco is playing. And then you'll probably see Gabriel and or Sanders take the field. But if it starts out Flacco, I think that's going to bode well, obviously, for the pass catchers, in which you got Jerry Jeudy on one side, who kind of finally started showing what we thought he was going to be when he got drafted by Denver years ago.
Yeah.
You know, when he came out in the draft, if you remember, Jerry Jeudy was the top dog. He was what was considered the Malik Neighbors, the Brian Thomas Jr.'s of that draft class. And then he never really panned out. I think he kind of started doing something that last year or so in Denver before they moved him to Cleveland. And then when Jameis Winston came in last year, it was all Jeudy all the time. He was electric. He just went hamburglar. Yes. And we finally saw him start, morphing into that top receiver. And, I don't want to see a step back from that when you have a couple of rookies step out there. Neither one of those rookies were drafted high. Obviously, Sanders went in the 5th round, and I think Gabriel was a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I can just click the thing here. I'm going to tell you exactly where he was picked. But either way, neither one of them were highly touted. And so, so a matter of fact, Gabriel, he was a 3rd round at the end of the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And so neither one were highly touted. So I don't expect them to be the future either, but I think they're going to at least give them the opportunity to see what they got out of them. And then next year they'll probably be drafting at the top again. And then you got the running backs. Obviously Chubb's out. He's now down in Houston with the Texans. They drafted Quinshon Judkins in the 2nd. We were pretty pumped about that. We're thinking, hey, we got somebody, a nice explosive rookie who could potentially start the season as a starter. And then he went and got himself in trouble down in Florida, and not sure how this is going to pan out because he's still yet to sign a contract. He was arrested. I'm sure he's been released at this point, but for domestic violence. So we know that the NFL doesn't do like, I think the minimum he's going to see is a 6-game suspension. He may not play this entire season, depending on how the legal process,
how all this works
goes.
out. Yeah, exactly.
But he could be put on the commissioner's exempt list. That's if he signs the contract. If he chooses not to sign the contract, he avoids all that for now, but he also can't play anywhere this season and gets pushed to next season, and then he can get redrafted, but he's still going to have I don't think the NFL is just going to be like, oh, well, you didn't play last year, you didn't sign a contract, so we can't punish you. I think they're still going to have something.
Yeah, they're going to have something. Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I don't see Quinshon Judkins playing at least at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, I don't. I wouldn't count on it personally. Like yeah.
And so that leaves Jerome Ford where he was last year, just quietly doing what he does.
Yep.
He was pretty solid last year when Chubb went down, and he was the guy. He's not dynamic. He's not super explosive, but he's a decent pass catcher. He averages around 5 yards a carry. He's just a kind of a hard hat lunch pail type running back. He just goes out there and gets the job done. And so I expect him to start the year as a starter. I think he's a value in drafts, and we'll talk more about him in a minute. I failed to mention Calvin Austin on the other. Not Calvin Austin.
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman, the third-year player. I think he's going to his third year out of Tennessee. He kind of started coming on a little bit last year, so it looks like he's going to be the number 2 receiver. He started getting some targets last year, showed a little promise. So as a pass catcher, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. And then, of course, you got Njoku, the dude at tight end. So talk to me about if there's anything you're looking forward to, you're excited about, how you're feeling about this Browns team.
I don't have any excitement for this team. There's too many question marks at quarterback. The only real threat at receiver is Judy. Cedric Tillman's, it's kind of flashed, but that was on the shoulder of like 8-9 targets a game on the games he did well. And then he got injured and missed the rest of the season. So I don't know that a lot's going to come from that. And running back wise, I mean, they got Deontay Johnson there, who's a veteran and has done some stuff, but the last 2 years has been kind of,
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't even want anybody coming near him. I don't know what's going on, but
I think in Dynasty, there's some hope for Dylan Sampson, but the thing is, I think they drafted him more to be a third down pass catching back. He's not really built to be a between the tackle guy. He was very productive in college, at least his last year. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him now. It definitely opens the door for him as a 4th round pick to be able to do something and take some touches away from Ford. So Dylan Sampson is interesting to me. In Dynasty, he's somebody you definitely need to snatch up or maybe draft late. In redraft, we're going to have to see how the camp and all that stuff
goes. I think that if we hear any solid information about Quinshon potentially missing early game, like first few weeks, even I would definitely be going out and grabbing Dylan Sampson personally. I mean, he's 5'8", 200 pounds. He's a little, he's older. He's like 20, almost 21, I think.
Yeah, I think he played 5 or 6 years in college, but he dealt with a lot of injuries. I think he also had a COVID year. He was moderately productive for most of when he wasn't hurt until this past season. He was very productive. If I'm remembering correctly. Correctly.
I just feel like Jerome Ford, like we said, he's nothing super flashy and he's nothing like that's going to win everything. But if there's no Quinshon and Jerome has to start, I don't necessarily feel that Jerome is an every down back, and it wouldn't take much for Dylan Sampson to come out there, show a little bit, and not take the job over, but get enough time to where he can definitely, I don't want to say take the job, but I want to say, get enough to make him very fantasy viable. Right. He could be a flex spot no matter what, if that makes sense.
Right.
Until Judkins comes back, of course, or Ford could potentially get hurt. I mean, he has missed games. He missed a few games last year, got injured, missed 3 or 4 games, and then got injured again at the end of the year. And then they put him on the IR, and he didn't play the rest of it. So, there's still that shot. You want to definitely have a cup, especially if you got Ford.
Yes. 2 years ago, he finished 17th overall. He played 17 games. He rushed the ball for 204 attempts. He only had 104 attempts last season, but he still had 43 targets in the limited play time that he had last year. And the year before, he had 63 targets. So those are things I like. If Ford comes out, I think it's going to look more like that 2023 season where he was basically the starter for the whole season because Chubb got hurt and then was out for virtually the entire season of 2023. So, and then he got hurt last season too, but it was
intermittently. So, I mean, it was like week 6 he got injured, and then he came back.
When Chubb got hurt, it was like, like week 4 or 5 or something, I thought. So, either way, I think Ford is sneaking. Like I said, we'll talk more about him in a minute. I don't really care about Deontay Johnson at wide receiver. I don't expect anything from him. That dude is burnt toast. He's the youngest old wide receiver that's ever played.
Yeah, he's definitely a young old wide receiver.
So, all right, I think that's enough on the Browns. I've got them going 5-12 this year. What do you have the Browns going?
3-14, and I still feel like I'm generous. I think I gave them all 3 preseason games. Is really what happened.
Well, I think you get the L that the Steelers are taking for their alternate uniforms.
I gave that win to the Browns. Yeah. That's exactly what I did. I had to boost some numbers up some.
We went through the schedule right before because you were like, where are you getting 5 wins? So you were like, broke it down, and I had to struggle. I'll be honest with you. But I think they can eke out 5. I think Flacco's good enough that he'll find a way. And that defense. My thing is the defense is really good, and if you can be serviceable on the offensive side, they're going to be in games you think they shouldn't be in.
Oh yeah, no,
there's going to be one Ravens game where you're like, why are the Browns so close?
Well, that's what like last year they won 2 games. One was against the Jaguars, which okay, and then the other one was against the Ravens. They won 29-26 or 23 or something. So I mean, there's going to be the games, and I think those are all 3 of the wins I gave them were those games.
All right, next on the list is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers finally decided that he was going to finish out the season. So he signed a 1-year, $13.65 million with $10 million guaranteed for a max value of 19.5. So I think
lots of incentives. That was smart. That was smart though. Play the game, win us some games.
It was also smart to get him because while I think Aaron Rodgers is done, Mason Rudolph was the next on the list, and he was never he was done when he was drafted.
Yeah, he was raw chicken from the beginning, and he'll never be done because he'll always be raw. It's just never going to be good.
Najee's gone, so you got Jalen Warren's going to be the starting back, we think, but they also went and drafted a rookie in
is it Caleb Johnson?
Yeah, Caleb Johnson. And Caleb Johnson, very explosive back. I expect Caleb Johnson to take that job at some point. I don't expect him to start the season that way. But I do expect him to be involved off the jump. We saw the kind of system they like to run with running backs when they had Warren and Najee both healthy in the backfield. There was never really a one-man show. I don't know that Warren is really built to be what Najee was.
Yeah.
So
that's why Warren was so good, I feel, was because Najee
the fresh
took
leg.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think Caleb's going to come in. They also went and got Kenneth Gainwell, which to me, for fantasy, Gainwell is going to be one of those where he may have a good game, but nobody's going to start.
You're going to be like, holy shit, where did he come from? Like, it's going to be on the shoulder like 2 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown or something like that.
But for NFL wise, I think he's a very good NFL player. He brings a lot to the locker room, I think, and he will bring some bursts. My thing is, there's not really. I don't know what Caleb Johnson's going to be. He's going to have to be the hammer, though. They don't, because obviously Gainwell isn't. I don't think Warren is.
Yeah, Warren's not. So
I expect Caleb to be more of the goal line type running back, the short yardage guy initially, and he has the athletic profile that he can turn those 3rd and 1s to 40, 50-yard touchdown runs.
Yeah.
So
Caleb Johnson's big. He's 6'1", 224.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to have to be the hammer.
Have to be the hammer.
But for his size, he's still very athletic. He's very fast,
agile, and everything. Yeah.
And he's decent pass catcher out of the backfield.
I didn't realize he was so big. I saw he was under 6 foot.
The only other offensive thing they did in the draft was Will Howard. I don't expect anything out of him to start the season out of Ohio State at quarterback. So,
if Rodgers goes down,
he's definitely. I've been snatching him up.
You can throw him on taxi squads and
Superflex
shit like
dynasties.
that, yeah.
I've been throwing him on taxi squads just as a what if. They went and got DK. They made a trade to the Seahawks. They traded a 2nd-round pick and for some late round swaps, and then they gave him a 4-year, $132 million contract. So DK is going to be the guy. We just hope that Aaron Rodgers can hyper target him. We hope they can gel. and they traded away
Pickens.
Pickens.
There
Yes, George Pickens to Dallas. So Calvin Austin right now is really the only other pass catcher if you're not counting the tight ends. But then they went and traded, got Jonnu Smith in the tight end room.
Yeah, that was. I really don't know what to think about that. Like
I think because of Jonnu's athletic profile, they were looking. They may be running 2 tight end sets. You may see Freiermuth playing a traditional tight end, and they might run Jonnu out of a slot. They may run him out wide.
Yeah,
who knows?
He's just so old.
He's definitely old.
No, I mean he's really not. He's only 29 years old, but he's been in the league 8 years, so he's football old.
Well, they went and got Scroteneck.
Yeah, they do have Scroteneck.
So yeah, and they got Bobby Trees, which it'll be. I mean, I don't know that either one of them even make the roster. The deals they signed were whatever, and so we'll see how that pans out. But it's going to be interesting to see what Tomlin can do. My faith is always in Tomlin when it comes to him keeping the team. They're part of the problem that they're having with quarterbacks is the fact that Tomlin is the coach. Since Roethlisberger's been gone, they haven't had a shitty enough season to draft a high quarterback.
Yeah, to be able to get somebody.
Yeah, even when you had old Hodge, what was his name? Duck Hodge out there.
Oh, yeah.
And Mason Rudolph's season, they still finished 500. And barely missed the playoffs. That's Tomlin's.
So crazy.
That's Tomlin. It's a blessing and a curse. You're always in the fight, but you're never shitty enough to draft a good quarterback.
Shitty enough to get a good quarterback, and never good enough to make it to playoffs. So it's like you're in that.
You're
void.
Playing this game of the Aaron Rodgers signing last year when they went out there with Russ.
Yeah.
So next year it'll probably be Keith Cousins.
Yeah, he's going to be the starter
for the Steelers, and so they'll just keep recycling. I thought they were going to at least keep Fields for a couple of years. I thought that was their attempt to try to get a younger quarterback and grow him there, but apparently that's not the case there either. So we'll see. I don't know. I think they're going to be about what they were last year. I expect them to be about 9-8 is where I got them.
That's where I have them too, is 9-8. Like, it's just like, I can't rightfully, and it's like you said, I can't go against Tomlin and put them with a losing record.
Yeah. I
can't give them 8-9 because they're going to get 9-8. They're going to have.
I mean, their defense got better. They got Darius Slay now back there. They just signed TJ Watt. He's a beast. I mean, so the defense is going to be the defense.
The defense is the defense. The offense is just so middle of the line, and they didn't improve. I mean, I don't. Aaron Rodgers is old. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but I don't know that he's.
Aaron Rodgers was a great quarterback.
Well, yeah, I don't know that he's any improvement over what they've been dealing with. Like you said, it's just this regurgitation of.
He's an improvement on what they could have had with Rudolph. I don't know how much of an improvement he is over Russell Wilson, though.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, or even Fields. Fields was doing good out there with the team.
Too, yeah.
So I'm saying he was holding his ground with what was out there, and also, I mean, it's just I'm thoroughly confused with the whole Jonnu Smith, and I was so big on freaking Freiermuth this year because dude's just a big.
He's a big
target,
and he's a touchdown machine. If you look at his career on when he gets red zone targets, dude,
he doesn't miss.
His ability to post up and catch the ball in the end zone is elite.
Yeah,
and so we expected that with Rodgers coming in, because one thing we know, Rodgers will throw to a tight end.
Oh yeah,
he made Tanyan a household name in fantasy.
Nobody's heard of him since then.
Yeah, Tanyan was on a pace who was breaking records at the time.
Yeah, and nobody can tell me what team he's on right now. Because the
Bears.
He went to the Bears. He's not on the Bears
He's
anymore.
Not on the Bears anymore? Are you sure?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think I was looking at it yesterday. I'm going to look now, but I'm pretty certain that you're probably right, but I'm misremembering, but we'll see.
For some reason, I'm thinking the Jets as well. The Bears or the Jets?
Close. He's on Kansas City.
Are you serious?
Dead set.
Wow.
He's on Kansas City right now. So.
That would have been about the 32nd guess if I had to go through all the teams.
He actually played for Kansas City last year.
No way.
Five games.
What?
He didn't start.
Okay.
I mean,
Did he dress?
He played 5% in week 3, 10% in week 4.
I have no recollection.
1%, and like he barely played any game time. He took like 2 snaps. I mean, but
this guy was a fantasy darling like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, this dude,
he had like a 5 or 6 game stretch where he was getting touchdowns every week.
He finished his tight end 3.5 point PPR in 2020.
That's it. Well, okay, so 5 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like in football, it's all different.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking all different.
So we know that Aaron has the ability to fall in love with receivers and make nobodies into somebodies. Whether he still has that ability or not, I don't know. I just really need him to make DK finally, as long as DK's not out there just beating the shit out of defenders. He
will be.
I'm so glad. I was so worried about him and Pickens on the same team because all I saw was them both beating the shit out of corners and Aaron Rodgers just sitting there like trying to throw the ball and there's nobody to throw to because they're both in straight MMA fights.
Straight fighting people. Yeah, exactly.
So. All right. Well, I think that's it for the Steelers. Again, I got them 9-8. You also got them 9-8. We've got them both finishing third into the division. So we'll move on to the Bengals as Matt goes and gets the beer of the week. Of course, with the Bengals, you've got the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Burrow at quarterback. Dude is amazing. When he's on the field, he is an elite passer. Top quarterback, obviously, but he has this tendency to go every other year where he's hurt this year. Next year, he's amazing. He's hurt. He's amazing. So he was amazing last year. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt this year. He's got 2 great pass catchers out there. I mean, he has an elite, one of the all-time greats in Jamar Chase, obviously. And then you have T. Higgins on the other side. and then, they look like Dr. Peppers.
Yeah,
so we'll pause real quick. So you got the Sweetwater. I have not had this. It's called the Rowdy Peach. Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm telling you,
I'm always looking for a Rowdy Peach.
Well, anytime there's peach involved, I'm going to be part of it.
It's an IPA. Trying to see what the
6.8. I thought it was 6.9, but yeah.
So not quite as nice.
Yeah, it's still close.
So it says "Let's float." It doesn't have a little description like most of them do, but it is IPA. Let's see what this tastes like.
Probably should have kept the.
Oh, I didn't put it. There we go.
Probably should have kept the.
Ooh,
that smells good though.
That smells strong.
It's only 6.8. It shouldn't be that bad.
No, not that kind of strong. Like flavor strong, like hops strong.
God. All right.
I don't know, man.
You don't like it?
I don't hate it.
God, that's
listen,
good.
I've learned with beers, it takes a couple sips for my brain to calculate what the hell's going
like
on.
what goodness
there's
not
plenty
goodness?
of beers I've taken a sip of and I thought it was terrible, and then a couple sips in, I'm like, you know what, this isn't that bad. The one, the Heyman sour never was good. But.
No, we did try. We tried 2 sips on that one, and
then we almost died.
Threw up both times. I'm thoroughly convinced that I gained 60 pounds because of that beer. Trying to eat stuff to get the taste out of my mouth.
Okay, second sip. Not bad.
I like this.
Yeah. It's not bad. I can definitely taste the peach.
Oh yeah,
but you can also taste the hops.
I think that's what it is. It's a pretty good blend because it's not like at the same time. You know, you kind of get that separation. I don't know. It's really good. I like it.
Let me do this.
Scrum diddly umptious.
All right. So we'll get back to the Bengals. No, you're
back to the Bengals.
So you got T. Higgins on this side. He just got a 4-year deal, $115 million. So they invested in him. They gave Gesicki a 3-year deal. Gesicki was kind of he had his moments. He's a pass catching tight end. He is not good at blocking, which is why he doesn't get a ton of use on the field, which is also why they went out and got Tanner Hudson, or they re-signed Tanner Hudson because he's their blocking back. Eric All is somebody that we're having a lot of hope in, but he's going to be out another year on the IR. The rookie tight end from last year who started showing signs before he got hurt. And then in the draft, we should also go to quarterback because your dude, Brown, I mean, running back. Sorry.
Yeah, Chase Brown.
Chase
I was like, quarterback. Wait a second. My dude? Hold up.
Yeah.
The only thing they did at quarterback is the worst, and that is not my dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Desmond Ritter. Come on now. Come on.
Which, if Burrow does go down, shut it down for them.
They've already signed paperwork to forfeit the rest of the season and not even worried about trying to play. Or they're talking to King Cousins right now just in case.
Oh, God. But they didn't do a ton in the draft. But, yeah, Chase Brown real quick. Talk to me about Chase Brown, how you're feeling about Chase Brown.
We will be discussing him shortly.
Okay. We'll talk more about Chase Brown in a minute. But they didn't do it. They went more defense and offensive line.
Which is definitely what they need to do.
But the problem is they don't want to give the Shamir Stewart their number 17th pick overall out of Texas A&M edge rusher. They don't want to give him his money and the contract that everyone else gets. They want to try to screw him and create a new contract where he doesn't get guaranteed the money that generally he should be guaranteed. And so he's considering going back to college. There's apparently a waiver he can try to get done. He's been practicing with Texas A&M, or he could just sit out a year and next year go back into the draft. And from what I was hearing on another podcast, if he does that, then next year the Bengals cannot draft him. So we'll see how the Bengals can fumble this, because all in all, the Bengals are one of the worst run organizations when it comes to paying players. They have a very frugal, tightwad ownership group. And
they just gave $1 bajillion away to 2 receivers.
Yeah,
and now they don't have any money to give anybody.
I did fail to mention that Jamar just signed a 4-year, $161 million contract as well.
Yeah. They dumped their pockets out. They literally dumped like the cartoons where they dump the money bag on the table and they pushed like 2/3 of it over to Jamar and then the other third to T. Higgins, and they looked at the rest of the teams and they're like, no, sorry guys, y'all don't get shit this year. Figure something else out. So I don't know. I don't like it, but that's kind of what makes me hesitant a little bit on them this year. I've got a little weaker record for them than what you have, but
yeah. Well, my thing is, as far as fantasy goes, if they don't, especially if Shamir Sanders doesn't sign, their defense is still going to blow balls, and which means they're going to have to score a ton on offense, which is a great formula for fantasy numbers. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I've got the Bengals going 10-7 this year.
I have them 9-8 tied with the Steelers.
Okay, so we're kind of in the same.
It's similar, but I just like they did zero. If this guy signs, and I don't even know that he's what's going to make. Yeah,
he's not going to make in
the defense.
Because also I think Hendrickson still hasn't signed.
I don't
Trey
think
Hendrickson, and I think that so you got him, who could potentially not be there.
That's what I don't think he's going to be there. Honestly, I don't think that's going to work out.
So they're not going to really have any pass rushers worth note. If that's the case,
it's going to be so bad. It's going to be worse. And I mean, the O-line improvements, I think there's some stuff going on. They did some drafting and a couple signings and stuff, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to really make any kind of a.
And they drafted a couple players kind of in the mid rounds for the O-line as well too. So we'll see how it pans out. But
it's not going to be a big drastic difference that I see that's going to make them jump up from what they did last year, which I think was similar, 10-8, 10-7.
But I'm all about that Chase Brown life. They didn't really. They invested in a last round, like a 6th or 7th round, in Taj Brooks.
Yeah.
Running back. There's nobody there that's really threatening Chase Brown for touches.
And that guy's so explosive too, man. He is. Like, you watching him, he's fun to watch. I
didn't know he's as big as he was. He's like 215 pounds. Yeah. I always thought he was one of these smaller scat backs just because he's so fast and so quick.
He gets around the tackle like he's just everywhere. No, it's
so I'm Chase Brown helped me win like 2 or 3 different championships last season.
I had him so many places.
He's definitely somebody that I definitely want on my roster if I can get him.
Yes.
All right, and then last on the list, but definitely not least, is the Baltimore Ravens. They've got Lamar Jackson, who was the number 1 fantasy scorer overall last year. Dude was absolutely amazing in passing, in rushing. It took him a little bit, but once that offense got clicking, we even talked about it early in the season last year, how if you remember, they started out a little rough offensively, and we had one of the episodes. I just remember us talking like, if they ever get this offense clicking, they're going to be the best offense in football.
Oh yeah, it's going to run all over everybody.
And then they got it clicking, and they were the best offense in football.
Yes.
The one thing that they really lack, I think, overall, is a true dynamic pass catcher, but they have a lot of really good pass catchers. I would say Zay Flowers currently probably is the best pass catcher they have. I don't really consider him like a true alpha type receiver, but he's very good. Don't get me, then Rashad Bateman has his moments. He's a down the field bomb guy. They did bring in D-Hop. We'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. And so there's another receiver. I can't think off the top of my head that was there, but maybe I got them both. But did they draft somebody? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. There's Dontez Walker. I think he's the one that kind of showed
that was
up.
a draft pick from a couple years ago.
Yeah, it just showed up last year at the end of the year out of nowhere. Had a couple big weeks. Yeah. Anthony Miller's there, former Bear.
Yeah, so I don't remember. Nothing. Maybe I don't know what I'm thinking of, but they have two dynamic tight ends. Mark Andrews is still fairly young. I don't think he's toast, but I think that he still has some juice left in the tank, and he definitely has the rapport with Lamar, and I think he may have a bounce back season. And then you got what's his lips, the other tight end,
Isaiah Likely.
There it is. I wasn't even close, bro.
I'm waiting. Where were you going with that?
I have no idea, but I wasn't in the realm of Isaiah Likely. My brain, I was trying to like stall until I could find it.
And, all you got to do is say what's his lips, and I got your back, man.
I had to cave because I was not even close to Isaiah Likely. But yeah, they have Isaiah Likely, who I think is the better player of the two overall when it comes to like pass catching. Obviously, yeah. I think Andrews is the better blocker. He's the better overall tight end, but I think Isaiah Likely, his athletic profile, his ability to get downfield, he's a bit of that hybrid tight end. He's got the speed. He can run the routes. He can break tackles, and I think Andrews is more of your prototypical tight end who's just a really good pass catcher. I mean, I don't want to say that Andrews isn't athletic. He's very athletic.
Oh yeah.
But I think Isaiah Likely is dynamic. And I feel like they began to I'm not saying beginning to realize he's been on the team forever, so they obviously should know how good he is. But I think this is going to be potentially the year that he takes full grip of the reins from Mark Andrews.
Yeah, we'll talk about him a little bit later too.
And when I say that, because I also was saying, I'm kind of talking on both sides of my mouth right now, because I did say I felt like Andrews is going to have a bit of a bounce back. But if you look at what Andrews did last year, it's not going to take a lot for him to have a bounce back.
Yeah.
I think they're both going to be involved in the offense all season. I just don't see Andrews getting that top 3 tight end run. No. And I don't see Likely being a top 3 tight end either. But I think that when it's all said and done, Likely is going to be maybe a top 6, and you're going to look back and go, yeah, this is Likely's team now.
Yeah, well, that and where you can draft them, that would be, we talk fantasy. You can grab Likely like off waivers and some drafts, startups and stuff like that for redraft. But
right, and Andrews is also in the last year of his deal, and they haven't given him an extension.
They haven't extended anything.
So it kind of feels like they're wanting to move on, and so we'll see. Like I said, the biggest thing that Andrews has over Likely is a very strong rapport with Lamar.
Yeah.
And so that is Lamar's dude. He's been his dude from the jump. They did go out and get on defensive side, they got Jerry Alexander to help that already very good defense. So I think they're going to be great. And of course, you got Derrick Henry, the freaking dinosaur, the guy he's going to be 47 and still just absolutely mashing fools.
I think you're a little light on that. I think it's 52 is what he's going to be.
Mr. Disrespect. Every time you go up against this guy, they all have to make business decisions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you going to end up on one of his highlight reels as being stiff-armed into your soul, stiff arm out of your body into the ground?
It can easily happen.
And there's no real running backs behind him right now.
They did nothing. Justice Hill's still there,
and then
Keaton
Mitchell, who a couple years ago shined for a minute, and we thought that he was going to be something. He's very explosive, very fast, but Derrick Henry is the dude. He signed a 2-year extension, so they still believe in him. And so I expect him to be, again, I expect him to be dominant, barring injury, obviously. And I'll say this too. Another thing that makes me believe he's going to be awesome. I've said this before. So on the Rich Eisen show or on the Dan Patrick show, one of the two, I think it's Dan Patrick, because Dan Patrick's really good friends with Adam Sandler. So, Derrick Henry also really loves Adam Sandler, and I don't know how it all went down, but the gist of it is this: Derrick Henry mentioned that he likes Adam Sandler, and Dan Patrick said, "Hey, if you rush for 2,000 yards this season," or maybe he said, "If I rush for 2,000 yards this season, can you get Adam to put me in a movie?" And so then Adam Sandler came on the show like either days later, a week later, whatever, and he agreed that if Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards, he's going to be in an Adam Sandler movie. That's all the incentive that I want it to happen, because I want to see Derrick Henry in an Adam Sandler movie.
That would be pretty epic.
And you know as well as I do, if he gets into one Adam Sandler movie, he's going to be in all the rest of them.
He's going to be in all of them.
Because one thing Adam Sandler does, Adam Sandler rides for his boys.
Oh, yeah.
For life.
For life. I mean, thank goodness to a couple of them, because David Spade would be nowhere right now.
Absolutely. I can tell you all of them would be, maybe except for Kevin James. Kevin James
he's done a little on his own, but
and Chris Rock obviously would still be very successful. He was successful before he became one of Adam's boys, but the rest of them.
Oh yeah, Rob Schneider and
I don't even know if Rob Schneider's still one of his boys. That dude's kind of gone off the deep end, bro. He is kind of gone way off the deep end.
Sometimes you just got to though. So I mean,
if you ever get bored, go look up stories of people in our like people like us who have run into Rob Schneider on like vacation.
Yeah, and
their stories of that dude is not a cool dude.
That seems
he is not a good guy, but
seems right.
But anyway, so I think Derrick Henry is going to be awesome this year. I think it's going to be another great year of Derrick. I tried to call it a few years ago. I think you might be calling it this year.
I think I might be.
Tried to call it. So we all keep calling that when the fall off's going to happen, and we've all been wrong except for you. So it's your time.
It's my turn to be wrong. We'll just put it that way.
Let's talk. We kind of glossed over the pass catchers, but I do want to go back to that because I know you're a big Zay Flowers guy. How are you feeling about that wide receiver room? Is there anybody else you're investing in, whether it's be Bateman, D Hop? Or is you think Zay's the dude and you're going to ride with him?
If I got to pick, I'm going Zay all the way. And here's the thing too. I mean, Zay did what he did last year. He finished in the 24th wide receiver with 111 targets, 76 receptions, just under 1,000 yards. He only had 4 touchdowns. I mean, guys like he's not getting the targets that these one guys are getting. These two guys are getting. He's not like Jamar Chase getting 161 targets.
Right.
So it's difficult for me to, if I got to pick somebody up to be a top 24 wide receiver.
I mean, he's going at 24 right now.
That's and I said last year he's going to finish top 24. And he's working his way up. He's not going to push out Bateman because Bateman's super quick and he's still getting his 80, 70 targets.
Well, I think they're two different receivers. I think Bateman's a true outside sideline, down the sideline, run the post routes type receiver. I think Zay Flowers is kind of your jack of all trades, your budget Amon-Ra, if you will.
All over,
And so,
it's been progressive. He's going into his 3rd year. He's on a team that doesn't pass the ball a whole fuck ton.
Well, they did last season. Well, so that's the thing. They definitely picked it up last season. Lamar threw for over 4,000 yards. So.
Yeah, and a lot of it went to there was a bunch of big passes to Rashad Bateman. That's why he finished at 36 or 34 as high as he did.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of why Zay finished as high as he did, but I think he was still only through 200 or 300 and something attempts. He didn't have a whole lot.
I have no idea. If only there was a device.
Oh yeah, that you could
hold
everything.
in the palm of your hand that would give you the answer to all the information.
I should have had it up before I started talking about it. I should have been like, let me tell you. And then I just sounded like a genius instead of just throwing wild ass numbers.
Well, if I
out.
can learn how to spell Jackson instead of Haxon, because apparently my thumb likes to hit the H.
So you had 474 attempts, 316 completions for 4,100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, and 41 touchdowns. That's huge.
Yeah, so the last 2 seasons, he's had the most attempts of his entire career. He had 457 2 years ago, 474 this year.
Which is still low for a passing like for a passing quarterback. Like
yeah. I would say for a true passing offense, if you're looking at, I mean,
you go look at Burrow's numbers.
Yeah, you're talking in the 500s.
Yeah,
I mean, Brady was in the 600s when he was down in Tampa.
So I mean, you're looking at these numbers, and that you can't like sustain 2-1 receivers like Higgins or
Well,
Higgins
I think D Hop is
but
definitely going to demand targets. He's old as
that's
balls,
another
but
one. That's
if he's healthy and on the field, he's going to demand targets.
They're going exactly. So I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Zay's the guy there. I mean, he was the guy last year. He got the most targets. He did really well with what he got. He didn't get. He only had 4 touchdowns, which is really low.
Very
for that aspect.
Yeah, for what he was.
I want to see what Bateman had as far as touchdowns are concerned.
I want to say
Bateman had 9 touchdowns last year. So I mean, and he finished as wide receiver 34. So I mean,
you got that right.
So so Zay's still, he's not the guy that's getting the touchdowns, but he's definitely getting the targets.
And then for the draft, they didn't really bring anything in offensively. It was basically all defense, offensive
because
stuff.
Their defense is so bad.
Yeah, and then they brought in one wide receiver in the 6th round. LeJonte Wester, I've never heard of him until just now. So, thank God they drafted that kicker in the 6th.
Hell yeah. They definitely needed that. Is it Tyler Loop?
Yeah.
He's the one I'm picking up in a couple of my redrafts just because I think I could work with Loop.
Yeah. Oh, as a team name?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm always after them good team names.
All right. Well, there's the division once again. Oh, by the way, I've got the Ravens going 12-5. What do you have them going?
13-4.
All right. So we're basically the same. So we got the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and we were pretty locked
up. It's pretty close, yeah.
All right. So from there, we're going to do our smash, pass, and sleeper. And again, we're smashing on a guy. We don't care what his draft capital is. Or his draft ADP is. We're smashing him as much as we can. We're passing. A lot of times, if I'm passing on somebody, it's because of their ADP, or I just don't fucking like them. And then sleeper is obviously somebody who's at the bottom of the draft that we think is going to finish way higher. So
yes, correct.
Go ahead and kick it off with whichever one you want to talk about.
My smash.
All right, let's do it.
Chase Brown.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. Last year, I think was just a preview of what this guy can do. And I'm just thinking they literally did nothing, and they've already come out. They've done nothing to replace him or even in any way threaten his position. And they're going to have to throw the ball a bajillion times because their defense is absolute garbage. So I just feel like they've already come out and said that they're going to highlight and build the team around Chase Brown this year. So they're going to use him more than what they used him last year. And I don't even know the guy's numbers from last year, but
I'm trying to pull him up right now.
I know.
Well, he's currently going off right now as the running back 25th overall. I think that's still good value because, to me, Chase Brown has the potential to finish in the top 5.
Oh, yes.
As long as he stays healthy because of his explosiveness in that offense. He's got to score a ton of points.
He's going to get a ton of receptions.
I mean, he's going to be – there's very few true bell cows left in the NFL. I don't see them running a committee out of that backfield. And so I think he's going to be the bell cow. He's going to get the touches. He got a ton of touches last year when he became the number 1 starter.
Once he took it over,
Yeah. I mean, he was dynamic last year. He had 27 carries in one game, 22, 25, 20. Not to mention he had a 5, 11, 7, 8 targets in a game. So, I mean, he finished last year as 12.5-point PPR, played 16 games. He had 229 attempts, 990 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Plus, he had 65 targets. So
I would say in the first 3 weeks, he barely even played.
Yeah,
He barely even played.
If you go look at his game log,
you give him.
He had the percentages for the first 5 weeks: 33, 20, 24, 40, 33.
Yeah. So
and then all of a sudden, boom, he's at 62, 58, 50, and then. Starting in week 9, he was 80% or better for the rest of the season.
He was a top 9 back for the last half of last season.
Had he been an 80% or better for the entire season, he would have been a top 5 back.
Dude would have been in 6, be a 5 or 6.
Because if you look at week 9, running back 5, running back 4, running back 10, running back 10, they had the bye week in 12. 13 was running back 10. 14, running back 6, running back 4. He had an off week in week 16 at running back 20. Still put up 12 fantasy points, and then running back 14 in week 17 put up 11 fantasy points. So, I'm with you.
You give this guy
as long as he doesn't break down.
Yeah.
He's going to be amazing.
He's going to be money. And I mean, you grab him anywhere around 12. I mean, even 11 and 10. Like you can get him. I think he's primed to have, and it's basing a lot on the fact that they're going to have to throw the ball so much, and he's so heavily involved in that pass game too, that he could easily move up ahead of a lot of these guys.
See, I'm looking at who's ahead of him. Kyron Williams is right up above him. I might take him over Kyron. I won't take him over Jonathan Taylor. I might take him over Bucky. I might take him over Josh Jacobs. And I might take him over Achane. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would bump him up to 8. So basically where Josh Jacobs is kind of where I'm thinking I wouldn't take him over any of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs currently going off the board personally.
Yeah. But
after that, there's definitely some. I think Jonathan Taylor being drafted at 10 is a value right now. But so we'll talk about that when we get to that division, which will be next week. But I love it. I'm big Chase Brown house here. Like I said last year I had him on a taxi squad on the team, and then when he started going nuclear, I pulled him off the taxi, and I had a team that barely got in the playoffs, and it took me all the way to championship.
Yeah, he ran you all the way through.
He was part of it, but he definitely was a huge addition as like a flex play. I got running him as a flex.
Yeah.
Carried me all the way. So
that's big. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, my smash surprise is DK Metcalf.
That's everybody's smash, though.
He was my smash last year. And didn't. In fairness,
it wasn't even during football.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's a different smash.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but he was my smash last year, and in fairness, did not pan out. Okay. I'm willing to admit that he didn't. I expected him to be a wide receiver 1 last year. I thought he was going to take off like a rocket ship, but that Seahawk offense, passing offense, was not what I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it fell off a little.
But I think he can do it this year. He's currently going off at wide receiver 22, 50th overall. Yes, please. Give him to me. And then let Rodgers throw. If he gets 8 or more targets on average a game, he's going to be it's going to be amazing.
Absolute money.
Yeah, he's going to be amazing. And so I'm riding that. And I just need Rodgers to just be like, this is my dude, and just feed him the ball. And then I need him to step up. I need him to be what we want him to be. He only had 5 touchdowns all of last year. And he had a lot of targets, but he didn't catch a ton of them.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely a disconnect with him last year,
I think he's just angry.
I mean, he had 108. When I say a ton, he had 108. So
he's just angry at all the people covering him. So he was mostly fighting people instead of catching the ball. I mean, it's got to happen sometimes.
I will say that in any season he's had more than 120 targets, except for one. He's finished as a wide receiver 1. He's only had 3 of those seasons.
Yeah.
He finished 6, 11, and then 18 in 2022. And so, we'll see how it goes. I need him.
He's always forever smash. It doesn't matter. You just got to get him on your team.
Whenever Rodgers drops back, I want him to look at DK and see Devontae Adams.
Yes.
I want to hypnotize him so that he sees Devontae Adams, and then he just throws him the ball every time.
Alan Lazard. I've been waiting on that to come across the wire. Steelers sign Alan Lazard.
So hard.
I would lose my shit.
Oh, they're gonna have to trade for Lazard, but that would still suck.
I would turn my 9-8 to a 7 and whatever. I'd 7-11 just out of spite.
Well, it would just mean that somehow Rodgers has taking the reins of the Steelers, which I don't see him doing, but he definitely took the reins of the Jets.
Oh no,
ran them into a gully.
He took the balls of the Jets. and held him up and ran him everywhere.
I just need Tomlin to maintain control from Rodgers and not let him sign all his best friends. Rodgers, a lot like Adam Sandler, tries to ride for his boys.
Man.
But not in a good way.
No.
Not in a good way.
Randall Cobb coming out of retirement or whatever he did to come back and play. No.
I heard Jordy Nelson might be working out with the Steelers. So,
oh, man. Tanyan coming for a better deal.
oh, my God.
To the Steelers from the Kansas City. Oh,
the worst.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. That's
Bring
terrible.
Eddie Lacy out of retirement.
Right?
He can play O-line.
The whole O-line.
Yeah. All right. Well, since you gave a smash, I'll go ahead and roll it down to my pass. My pass is T. Higgins. Not because I don't think T. Higgins is good. It's because I don't want to draft him at wide receiver 12.
Yeah, no.
He's currently going off at wide receiver 12, 32nd overall. I'm not feeling it. I know that last year he would finish his wide receiver 17 in only 12 games. I get that. But a lot of I just he's never played 17 games in a whole season. And he's never finished at wide receiver 12.
Nope.
So
I
don't-
the closest he's been is 14 or something, right?
yeah. Well, I thought you were pulling it up right now.
I am. I was just trying to guess, and that way I sounded smart when I found out the real deal here. I want to be like,
I love the fact that you still just throw shit against the wall while you're looking up the real stuff.
I'm looking it up right now. I wasn't even close. 17's the best he's ever done.
Last year was the best he's ever done, and he did it in 12 games. So I
Yes.
get it. Had he played a full season, he probably would have finished higher than 12. Here's the problem. He didn't play a whole season. It's not what he does. And the other problem that I have with T. Higgins is his consistency. One game he'll get you 28 points, and the next game he'll get you 4. One game he'll get you 3 touchdowns, and the next game he'll have 10 targets and 2 catches for 7 yards. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is, but he's just never been that guy. And I think that's part of the reason that he stayed in Cincinnati instead of trying to go get a more lucrative deal, because I think he understands that he needs a big dog on one side for him to be successful. Because I've said this before, I like T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is a far better wide receiver than I'll ever be in my life.
Oh,
Okay.
well, we can talk about Cole Burgess about that too. He's like 5th on the depth chart for their wide receiver 3 right now. He's far better wide receiver than you'll ever be in your life.
Facts. Facts. I've never even heard of Cole Burgess just now.
Me neither.
Listen, you can take the center, the 3rd string center off of the Bengals, and he'll be a far better wide receiver.
The practice squad water guy.
Yes.
What? Yeah,
Okay.
the guy that brings water to the people
Yes.
from the
So, but my point being is, I just don't think T. Higgins can be a consistently top receiver, especially in that offense with Jamar Chase on one side. And I'm not wanting to invest. For me, 12 is his peak.
Yeah,
if I've got to get Higgins, I've got to get him at the top. If I draft him and he doesn't finish at 12, I've lost all value.
You're losing a ton of value. I mean, depending on
Right.
what's available, even outside of wide receiver wise, I don't know. I'll tell you, if the Bengals defense was 40% better, T. Higgins wouldn't be a top 30 wide receiver, in my opinion.
Wait a minute. Oh, if the Bengals
If their defense was 30% better,
30 or 40?
30 or 40% better.
Okay,
40%.
but not 30.
Not 30. 30, he might be top 30. I don't know.
What about 37% better?
That's close. That's the line. That's where I draw the line in the
At
sand.
37%?
37%.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
rounding up.
Yeah, I'm just rounding up. So 40% better. We wouldn't even be talking about T. Higgins. I don't think he's that.
I think
He's
we
not
would
a
talk
game
about him
changer.
as in the same thing as like, man, if you need a flex play,
Yeah,
go
you're
grab T.
going to
Higgins.
grab him. You're not talking about him as being a wide receiver 1 at this
Right.
moment. You know what I mean? Like he's a big body. He's a decent receiver. He's just never done anything that super impressed me without 11 targets. You know what I mean? Like if he only got 7 targets in a game, it'd be like we wouldn't even be really bringing Higgins up. But their defense is so buns. They have to throw the ball so much. We could talk about all kinds of guys we've never even heard of.
Burrow threw the ball 652 times last year.
That's
for almost 5,000 yards.
200 times more than what Lamar Jackson threw.
Right. And if his defense was 37% better,
Yes.
then those attempts will be probably 100 less.
Yes.
And if those attempts are 100 less, then those are going to come out of somebody's pocket.
Correct.
And
a lot of pockets.
Yeah, and
But-
I think that Higgins' pocket might be one that might be one of the more because
Would be the potentially
I think
the
Chase
first
will probably be he would still get the same amount.
He would get
roughly.
the lion's share.
Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, also at the same time, T. Higgins wouldn't have had 10 touchdowns last year. He wouldn't have needed it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
he might have only had 6 touchdowns, which would have brought him down to
So for T. Higgins to be great,
24,
the Bengals
25,
defense has to be wretched,
Correct.
and they're going to have to throw the ball 650 times plus.
and that's what's going
here's
to
the
have to
other thing.
happen.
I don't know the numbers, but it would be interesting to see what the average attempts were when. I mean, I could kind of look it up. So pull up Chase Brown on your little thing
Yep.
and go to the game log.
Yep.
What week was it that he started playing 80% or more and getting tons of touches? Well, I can go ahead and
Week
tell you.
6.
I can go tell you now that I was thinking maybe the attempts went down, but they did not. The attempts went up. So, yeah.
But I mean, he still didn't. I mean, he only carried the ball like 15, 12, 10, 15, 12.
Okay,
so it
better,
wasn't like
I have a
huge
better
increase.
idea. On the weeks that Chase Brown carried the ball for 20 or more, what weeks were those? Give me the first one.
Week 9.
Week 9, nope, he had 39 attempts.
Week 11.
Week 11, he had 50 attempts. So never mind. This is not working out the way I thought. But I'm glad I looked it up because I was about to say, well, if Chase Brown's going to get more touches, that's going to definitely mean less pass attempts. Well, that does not correlate.
Their defense is so bad that they all have to be used so many times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so if they do re-sign Hendrickson and figure out this deal with this rookie edge rusher, then maybe
there's a chance we don't even hear of Higgins next season.
I do understand that they're going to want to get their investment back.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
no
going to be
doubt.
involved in the offense.
This
But like
is
I
all
said,
just,
I think
you know.
12 is his peak.
I
think that's the highest Higgins can finish.
That's
and
honestly,
if I'm drafting a guy at 12, I don't want to draft a guy at 12 who I think can finish at 12.
yeah.
So I would much rather, if you go down,
I'd take JSN
at 14.
He has the potential to be 12.
He has potential. He has upside. Marvin Harrison at 18 has upside. Garrett Wilson at 17 has upside.
Terry McLaurin at 16.
And not if you don't get a contract.
I was just saying, talent wise.
DK at 22's got upside. I
Yeah.
just don't know. I think, if I'm buying him for the price that I got to pay,
Yeah.
I'm not
no
buying
doubt.
any upside.
Yeah,
I'm just buying.
You're
this
getting
is
him
what it is.
at cost.
And then if he doesn't get there, then I lose money.
And risk. You're getting him at cost and risk. I mean,
Right, and I'm
instead
probably
of-
only going to get 12 games out of him anyway.
And in that game, he's going to finish 17, and you're going to be like, well, what the hell? Exactly.
Well, who's your pass?
My pass is Derrick Henry.
Oh my God!
And we're going around the boat here. We got to call it
I
at
know
some
you're
point
the one
in time,
that's calling it. It's time for you to be wrong.
But this year, it's like my problem. It's not even a problem. He's going off RB4.
Hold on, I had to switch it back to half point for some reason.
And still, he's RB6, which is a little worse.
Let me go back and check T. Higgins because I didn't realize it went back to standard scoring. So T. Higgins is 14 in the half point.
That's still not that far off. But yeah, like he's going off as RB4. And while I love the Ravens, I love what they're doing, I love the run game, I love Derrick Henry, I don't know. I think I would take Jonathan Taylor. I would take a shot on Bucky Irving. I'll take Josh Jacobs. Security. I take Chase Brown personally over
Derrick Henry.
I would.
Ooh, not me.
I just, and mainly for the pass catching upside in a half point PPR. You imagine the work that has to be done for a strictly running back to score the points he did the last few years to score where he's at. Where you got a pass catching back who doesn't have to do half the work as far as fantasy points are concerned.
Right.
I just think that it's easier for Chase Brown to score 15, 16, 18 points a week. And I would get better upside out of it than me me taking Derrick Henry at the 12 or 13, last pick in the first round, the first pick in the second round, somewhere in that vicinity. I feel I can get better value at that point that I would feel more secure with. Because the wheels have got to fall off eventually, and I want
you to know, you're comparing to Chase Brown. Yes. I just want to say this: Derrick Henry did what he did last year. He never played 75% of the snaps. Never played them. The most percentage he played was 74, and that was week 16. Every week he's right around 60. and he's just murking fools. Okay. And he's still getting one with 65%. He's still getting 24 touches for 199 yards.
Oh, yeah.
No, he doesn't get a ton of targets, but what he does get is he gets touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And what he does get is he gets yards. And I get what you're saying. You're trying to call it, but he averaged almost 6 yards a carry last season in this offense.
With that great,
you got Lamar Jackson.
O-line,
You got one of the best O-lines. You got Lamar Jackson back there who demands
a threat. Yeah,
a run threat.
Oh, yeah.
And so it just opens up space for Derrick Henry, who is used to running behind shit O-lines in Tennessee
and getting just
and
blowing
still,
through people and still just demolishing people. Yeah,
I get it. So
I'm not taking away from Derrick Henry.
What you have to bank, what you're banking on is you're banking on the age finally catching up and him taking a step back. Don't try to feed me that the Chase Brown gets more opportunity, because I'm telling you what he does if he got Chase Brown's opportunities, he would rush for 3,000 yards. If he got 80% of the snaps, he would absolutely they had to bench him just so other people could get stuff done.
Because they're winning the game so much.
Well, he's running for 6 yards a carry. They're like, we could literally just give it to him.
He can
score 47 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, I don't know. It's eventually it's got to come. It's got to come up. I mean, he had 325 attempts. Even in the gameplay, he was out there less time, but he had way more attempts.
He's
than
not
Chase
a
Brown
human
did.
though. See, I think what
I get that.
What your analysis is based on is you're thinking
touchdowns.
You're thinking a human being couldn't possibly continue to do this.
No,
but what you put the wrong pieces of the equation together, because I don't know what he is. Maybe he's a dinosaur. Maybe he's an alien. He's not a human. Maybe he's a cyborg. I don't know. He could be the T-1000.
That's true.
So I don't know what he is, but I'm not going to buy into the Derrick Henry's falling off, because I've already tried that thing and got burnt.
I'm just I feel like it's time. We're all going to be
now I just feel like you're either going to be the ones like, I'm the one that got it right, guys, or you're going to be like, you know what, I'm in the same club.
I'll say, look, I'm fucking wrong, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be the Derrick Henry season. And also too, I feel like the Ravens want to keep him and want him to be there so they can get to the Super Bowl. And this year could be their year.
That's why they don't let him run for 60%. He's not getting barely 60% of the snaps most of the weeks.
But the hard part is
he's just doing it
he's
anyway.
Still doing the same. He still has the same amount of carries, just in less game time.
Yeah.
So he's burning himself out in 60% of the games.
Best of the both worlds. 40% of the time he's sleeping on the sideline. He's getting his beauty
regenerating, charging his battery.
Like
charging
Wolverine
his battery.
Does.
Yeah.
He's regenerating like Wolverine, and then 60% of the time he just goes out there and puts people on posters.
It's like he's out there for 60% of the game, but he touches the ball the whole 60% of the game he's out there. Every play that Derrick Henry's in the game, it's his ball. That's what I'm saying. So like where at least Chase Brown, he's just out running a little out route or something, or blocking for the quarterback. That other 20% doesn't really matter. It's just whatever. But
we got a puppy has come to visit, baby Lola.
Lola, she come and say, hey.
All right. Well, we're on
so,
the sleeper then. So give me your sleeper.
Same team. And this is where I think that the Ravens are still a run first, and it's going to be run heavy, but we talked about it earlier. Isaiah Likely is my sleeper. You can grab this guy for practically free. I think he's like tight end $1 million.
He's going off at tight end 18 right now, 154 overall. So he's definitely on the back end of drafts.
And could easily be a top 10 in this league, in any league, really. I mean, especially if we do see like a step back from the run and an increase in the pass. I mean, we saw him have a couple big weeks last year. I mean, I think week 1 he went for 100-something yards and 2 touchdowns.
111 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, or 1 touchdown. He had a big week then. He had a couple other big weeks. His targets aren't great, but
week 5 he caught 3 balls for 3 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns.
When Mark Andrews is out there, it kind of...
Week 13 he had 5 for 8 for 38 yards and a tud. Yeah, he's. The thing is it's still very limited.
It's a lot of Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and if he finished his tight end 16 last year, which in the tight end landscape that's like finishing at wide receiver 60.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like if you look at the stats, you're like, why are people so high on him? It's like because when you can like the eye test. He passes the eye test.
You can see the talent.
That he is far more dynamic.
You can see the talent, and you know that it's got to go somewhere because of how well they use Mark Andrews. And in that position, like Mark Andrews has finished like top 10 for like 66 years or something, however long he's been in the league. And somebody's going to take over.
It's crazy. Like Mark Andrews still isn't even 30.
I know.
He feels like he's like the same age as Kelsey.
I know. I feel like he's been in the league forever. But I mean, he's been tight end 5, 6, 1, 4, 15 on the year he got injured, which was 2 years ago. And then 6 last year. So, I mean.
Which is crazy because if you remember last year.
It didn't feel that good.
I changed his name in the leagues where I had him to ground ass meat because of how bad he started the season.
And he still 5.5 point PPR. He had 69 targets.
Nice.
59 receptions for 673 yards and 11 touchdowns, though. 11.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's where the rapport comes in with Lamar.
And if they don't deal with Andrews, they don't put a deal on the table. They don't re-sign him and all that stuff. Likely can easily move into that. And if he gets half of those, if he gets 5 touchdowns this next year on top of his 4 he had, we're talking we're moving him up into 6, 8, or excuse me, moving up into 8, 9 territory.
And to be clear, he's being drafted at 18. If he finishes at 12, 11, 10, he's
huge value.
Yeah, huge
for a tight end.
Yeah, because it's not somebody you can play every week, but it's somebody's going to give you value when you stream him in the matchups.
Exactly. You know? When you if you can get somebody that nobody's looking at all to even play, and you play him on a weekly basis, and he gets you enough points to where he finishes as a top 10, or top 11 even. That's value.
He's one of the few tight end handcuffs. Like no one ever talks about handcuffing tight ends except for Likely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, I like it. I think he's definitely a value to get at 18 because of his potential of what he can do. If giving more opportunity, and again, you know, and I don't think they're going to extend Andrews.
Yeah.
I think Andrews is trying to get one more big check. So he's hoping that if he doesn't get paid before this season starts, he's hoping he can do well enough this next season that somebody's going to pay him again.
So, yeah.
Now, there is the off chance that Andrews dominates for the Ravens this year, and they're like, you know what, F it. And they give him one more contract. And then likely he's just like, okay, fine. Hopefully he goes somewhere else. But if it plays out the way we think, then they're definitely going to want to make sure he is who they think he is.
Yeah.
Which means more opportunity. And again, they could be running more 2 tight end sets with this offense.
Yeah.
You know, and using him more as that move tight end, that quote joker or whatever the fuck that means. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this season. Likely is going into his 4th year or his 3rd year?
4th year.
Okay. And so
he could be a tight end like Jonnu and not have a good year in fantasy until he's 30.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. He's been a far better tight end than Kyle Pitts has been.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Definitely true. And you can get Kyle Pitts before Likely right now if you want to.
Exactly.
But
Jake Ferguson, I would take him over either one of those easily.
I'm looking at, like, he finished 16 last year. Mm-hmm. And so you're looking at 132 and 154. So around 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Just about.
You're telling me you would take Jake Ferguson over Isaiah Likely?
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can wait around.
With Schoonmaker being right there and waiting in the wings,
he's working his way. Yeah.
All right. Well, my sleeper, I want to say that I don't know if he would have been my sleeper had what happened not happened, but I will say that I've been saying from the jump that I thought Ford was going to start the season as the starter. I did concede that at some point Judkins was going to take over, but I just didn't see them just throwing Ford to the side because he's been in this offense for years and years. He's been solid in this offense. And there's more to run back than just running the ball and catching. There's, pass protection, things like that. And
knowing
he's
the offense
very,
in general.
knowing the offense, and he's very good as a pass protector, and especially if Flacco starts, he's a fucking statue back there. So, they've got to have good pass protection. But my sleeper is Jerome Ford now, for sure. I think he's going to be the starter all season now, unless something happens where Judkins doesn't end up on the commissioner's list and doesn't end up suspended for the entire season. But the thing is even if Judkins is only suspended, say he's only suspended for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's 6 weeks that Jerome Ford is out there being the starter. And then Judkins comes in as a rookie, because when you're suspended, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can't practice with the team.
Yeah.
And so he comes in cold week 6. Well, now that's where his season starts. And so that's going to be another 4 or 5 weeks. So you're talking week 11, 12 before he could even come close to probably taking.
Oh, and let him miss a block. Oh
yeah.
Flacco have his ass not even out there if he misses a block
right.
or something like that. Yeah, no,
and
exactly.
So, and if this team can somehow stay remotely competitive, which we don't think they're going to,
yeah.
But there's not a 0% chance that they can't based off of how good that defense can be. Then if they're even remotely close to any sort of playoff push mid-season, because I think as long as they're mathematically in the playoffs, I think Flacco will be the starter.
Yeah.
And then when they're finally eliminated is when you'll see the Dylan Gabriel and the Shadir Sanders show out there. But I just think that regardless, I think Jerome Ford is going to go out there and just show that he's going to grab his lunch pail and put on his hard hat, and he's going to go out there and just do what he does.
His work, yep.
Yeah, get roughly 5 yards of carry, catch the ball when it's thrown to him, get you 15 fantasy points a week, 12, 15 fantasy points a week, and just be, a really solid running back. Yeah. I got him in the last pick of our keeper league.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pass up the value. I didn't need another running back. I'd been drafting running backs for the first 14 rounds.
Same.
Yeah. Me and you went running back heavy as balls. But when I got to the last round, I needed another tight end. It's a 2 tight end league, and I only got 2 tight ends, and I was like, I better grab a third. And then there's Jerome Ford sitting there. I'm like, nope, I got to grab him.
Nope, got to grab Jerome Ford.
And
yeah.
so I threw him on the bench. So I really think the Ford's going to be really solid, and he's right now. If you go and look at his ADP,
it's like 1,000. I think it's pretty close.
I'm pretty sure it's 1,000.
RB 1,000 on the season, and you can't draft him. You have to wait till next year to draft him.
Yeah, he's so low. He's so low on the ADP. He doesn't even have a number next to him. No,
he's definitely above Zach Moss, so we need to move up some.
Yeah, I've definitely passed these.
I don't think Zach Moss is still in the league.
So he's going off at RB 51 right now.
Yeah,
162 overall. I
take him over Rico Dowdle.
And here's the thing: even if Jerome Ford starts the season and only gives you 4 weeks, he's going to give you 4 weeks of really solid fantasy value.
Starter running back.
Yeah. And in a redraft, you run him 3 weeks out there and you're like, I think he's about to lose his job. Then you go find the gullible person in your league and you trade him away. You're like, look, this dude's been an RB, 17 for the first 3 weeks.
Yep. He's a perfect flex play. Give me Ray Davis.
Yeah,
or Trey Benson.
Give me Zay Flowers.
Yeah, give me Zay. Oh, hell yeah. Smash.
Yeah. And so I really think Ford's going to be a great sleeper this year.
Yeah,
barring injury, regardless of what happens with Judkins. Because if for some reason Judkins shows up and no suspensions happen, he doesn't go, I still don't think he's going to start the season as a starter.
Yeah, no, I don't think
and so I think Ford's going to at least get you 4 weeks, maybe more at the beginning of the season. So
yeah, that makes sense. I am on board.
All right. Well, there it is. There's our breakdown of the AFC North. Next week, we will be working on the AFC South. And if anything we say or do helps you get to that average place in your leagues, that means we did our job. Because when you finish average, Matt,
you don't finish last.
That's 100% right. And so we hope that you guys have a good week out there, and we shall see you on the flip side. I hope this is the right button.
Holla.
Later.